Nascent Iodine Saturate the whole body. So I personally take and saturate my body a couple times a week, maybe even 3 times a week, with a dropperful of, or maybe even 2 dropperfuls of the Detoxidine. And I feel that because we're exposed to so many chemicals and so many toxins in the air and the food and the water, that iodine is an essential compound that every single person and child should be on. As a matter of fact, this morning I gave both of my kids, they're 11 and 9, a whole dropper full of iodine. I do that once or twice a week. So iodine loading, the beautiful thing about the body when you're talking about iodine is the body will choose where it needs to go. Most of it is going to be sucked into the thyroid gland for a good amount of time. Let's say you started taking a dropper full every other day, or a dropper full a day, or a dropper full, roughly anywhere between 18,000 and 20,000 micrograms. That sounds extremely high. But when you consider the high levels of fluoride and bromine, if you eat any bread, you're probably going to get potassium bromine in there. We're getting brominated hydrocarbons in pesticide residue and glyphosates and endocrine disrupting chemicals. So we have a massive amount of fluoride in the water system, in chlorine. People swim in chlorine and bromine. So most of the iodine in my evaluations over the years, if you start loading up on iodine, everybody's different, but the majority of the time the iodine will start going to the thyroid. That's usually the place it goes first, and start saturating the thyroid. Iodine also, it works as a strong antimicrobial. It also works to pull chemicals and heavy metals out. It's also, now we're finding out that it's neutralizing some of the effects of electromagnetic radiation exposure or hypersensitivity. So that is a humongous breakthrough that there's no clinical research on it, but there's actually people now coming forward that have had electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome, and they're saying the only thing that's getting them better is iodine. I would have never thought that, but again, iodine is utilized by every single cell in the body, and it's one of my favorite substances. It can take up to about 8 months, according to the studies, to detoxify the thyroid gland and to start repairing and normalizing the thyroid. And I always recommend taking selenium with iodine. Usually I'll take iodine one day, selenium the next day, iodine one day, selenium the next day. Those are the 2 real good components and natural mineral compounds that you're going to need for optimum thyroid health. Of course, I always recommend you work with your natural health care practitioner and determine, because anytime, if we're seeing a thyroid epidemic right now, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, and hyperthyroidism, and anytime you're dealing with iodine, if you start taking blood work every week, your blood work is going to be all over the place. So I highly recommend you watch Dr. Brownstein's videos online and really learn about the fluctuations. Otherwise, you're going to go in, your doctor's going to freak out, and they're going to say, oh my gosh, you have Hashimoto's, and then the next week you're going to go in and your doctor's going to say, oh, you have hyper, and then the next week you're going to go in and you're going to say, the doctor's going to say that you have hypothyroidism. So cysts, if you have any cysts in your body, talking mostly to women that have prostate in men and ovarian cysts, fibrocystic breast disease in females, menstrual cycle disruption, hormone disruption in females, that is something that it could be beneficial. Iodine can be extremely beneficial for any of those. And in talking about will Nascent Iodine saturate the whole body, it will go to those areas first, and it'll start helping the body eliminate some of those conditions.